Hello, everybody. I am Yolanda Marie. So I have a message from the Arcturians here about taking the energy out of the labels in order to fully wield your power. Now, what they're giving me is this is going to be a primary way that we operate moving forward into this new way of being. This is yet another one of those things that we're going to add into our awareness. Many already are. And it's going to keep coming back around in order to build upon what we've already progressed to. Okay, so when you hit one level, then we're going to build it into something even more monumental, even a more fluid way to implement it into our lives. It's very, very important because what they're discussing here in this message is really one of the main keys to dissolving the extent of the polarization that's happening. And right now, it's really showing its face, especially amidst those who really have no idea what we may be talking about, have no idea what's going on in terms of dimensions beyond themselves, in terms of frequency and vibration, okay? Really stuck in the old paradigm. It's really difficult right now, even if you can't tell it. It's very frustrating to feel all of these energies coming in, prompting them to have things come up and for them to look at things and have to be confronted with things that they really don't want to be concerned with. And we are also going through this, but see, there is another level to this. When it's concerning people who are higher in frequency, okay? You are going to be going through this. It might feel painful in your body. It might be emotional. And just take a moment of compassion to consider, however painful it is for those of us who at least understand what's going on, how painful must it be for those who, as of yet, haven't chosen to awaken? We mean chosen from higher perspective. We do not address the conscious awareness of the human when we state this, but we are speaking primarily from higher perspective. They have not made the choice to be exposed to or to identify with things out of their safety, their focus, their familiar paradigm, their familiar way of being. Okay. All right. So here's what the Arcturians are saying, okay? And many of you are going to understand this again right away. But take this to the next level. Really, really begin to implement this. They're saying take the energy out of these labels, okay? These expressions, these situations, okay? Take the energy out of these things. And really, the Arcturians are really talking about words, labels. It really is about that, this channel. But this can be applied to situations. So they're saying this is because the energetic meaning or the connotation, right, behind something, there's semantics. They differ across and between cultures and religions. And the reason for purposely, consciously taking and by take the energy out, they mean the previous definitions, the previous energy. And they're going to get more into that in a minute here. When you listen, if you do what they're suggesting, if we do that, they're saying when you listen to whatever the situation is, whatever the circumstance is, as you listen, you can come across and recognize healing centers in the situation. Whereas if you are tuned into the lower density, the lower frequencies, the previous paradigm, and you're listening through that, you are going to miss and the Arcturians are using the word minuscule. This is not what we mean. So they're using the word minuscule, but they say that when they mean tiny. This very minute, tiny little corridor to the healing of the situation will be totally missed if you're tuning in through the previous frequencies. Previous meaning either previously that you've operated within in your life or planetary as well, because the frequency of the planet is raising. Another reason for the vast confusion and discomfort, and why people may appear in their personalities even to be so different to you right now. Just little things, pay attention. It could be very minute, as the Arcturians like to say. But it's interesting to tune in and pay attention, not through judgment or placing ourselves on a pedestal above other people, but just to be aware of what is going on. And for further proof, evidence of what we know is happening. That is very clear evidence. All right. So yeah, they're saying you can come across healing centers of the situation, and now I'm quoting them, which would otherwise be blocked if you were to carry your own. Now they're calling it an energetic barrier of reaction, or reactive judgment, they call it. Now, another way to think of this, these terms, and again, they're referring to certain labels or other words which are often recognizable within a particular group. That's a big thing too, because different cultures, right? Different groups, whatever that means, however, wherever the divider is, they might even between and across themselves think of something differently. One person thinks it means this, another person thinks it means that, and they're saying basically, these are labels that are very clung to within certain groups and used for further division, okay? These things carry an energetic meaning. This energetic meaning that they're talking about is felt or understood on an energetic or quantum level. And so when you can release the emotion associated with this energetic meaning, with these frequencies, right? Because those meanings reside in a particular frequency spectrum. That's what all this is about. And so that's why they're saying if you're in this frequency spectrum tuning in, where, say, the group is tuning in themselves, you're going to miss the corridor in the window where there is room for healing because of your own possible energetic block there, because you're engaging yourself on that level. There's a whole other conversation there too about streams of focus, quantum streams, and the Arcturians have a message about that too coming, okay? And so they're saying if you can release the emotion associated with this energetic meaning, you can engage the information, and this is how they state it, okay? Through your clear, focused quantum stream of energy. So sit with the power of that. That phrase actually holds a lot of power. And it points out the power that you hold. Because if you imagine that within your sphere of focus, within your etheric field, you have the power to project, and you are continuously in whatever direction, this stream of quantum energy. All right. And so this is what is creating what you are perceiving, but now it can be focused. So now they're saying you will be able to engage information in this way more clearly, and with positively charged potential energy of heart. Potential energy, anything that has potential is building potential. It's building momentum. Okay? It can almost be translated to the same thing. Okay? There is a minute difference, but this is basically what they're talking about. Okay? This potential energy of heart and clarity and healing intention is within this stream of focus. So what's happening here is if you can separate yourself, your awareness and your intention from the original emotional intention of these labels. Okay, so walking and chewing gum, you're understanding what's going on, but the emotional energy that used to be associated with it is disconnecting now. And this is going to be a practice. This is going to take, I'm reminding myself here, this is not an emergency. This is not a fire drill. This is not an emergency. Okay, this is just, and none of this is, we came here to do this, and we are doing this. So there is nothing that is going wrong. This is not an emergency, and you're perfectly where you're supposed to be. Okay, if you're hearing this, you're supposed to be hearing this. So, yeah, so when you come into contact with anything throughout the day where there is something off a little bit, in terms of being, whether or not it's in alignment with you, really, that's when you're really going to pick up on when this awareness is needed, right? Or let's call it this intervention. When you come into contact with that, it's just a little reminder. Okay, disconnect from the old emotional energy of that for a moment. Where can this be healed? Now, many times the answer to that is not an action, it's an energy. Most of the time, it's going to be an energy. Okay, all right? Most of the time, it's going to be just your awareness and your clear intention to cut through it. Okay, so I hope that this makes sense. Okay, I hope that you are taking care of yourself, soul family. I love you so much. I'm going to be addressing some of these questions, as many as I can really, off and on throughout the week. So I'll probably sprinkle in here and there. Somebody asked this question and I want to address this. So just be on the lookout for that as well, okay? Because you guys asked some amazing questions. I will talk to you again very, very soon, soul family, okay? Namaste.